Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching Lost. This is the 11th episode of the 4th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. Speaking about links in the description, we are running our most likely to dislike characters of season 4. Please do take 30 seconds, and your results of mine will be shown in the final episode of this season. Cannot wait to see who you guys choose. So last episode was interesting. Jack had to have his appendix removed. Yes, you know, on the island he was in discomfort. He actually fainted. You know, he was stumbling around. And Rose was actually having a conversation with Bernard, and she was saying, do you think it's a little bit of a coincidental, the fact that these people are so close to bringing a helicopter, you know, towards the island to start rescuing people, that our doctor, our most important MVP, so to speak, is now under, you know, sickness? I think it's a little bit coincidental. That's what she was saying anyway. It's very interesting. I never thought of it like that. Maybe somebody's been doing something to him to make it, you know, happen, or is it just bad luck that his appendix needs to be removed at this time? So interestingly, you know, he wanted to actually be awake for the procedure, but Juliet didn't want that to happen. She said that she's done multiple of these on the island before, and during the procedure Jack was awake, but she was like, look, sack this, you know, I can't have him. He's there, he's trying to tell me to do stuff, it's not going well, just put him under, you know what I mean? They put some chlorophyll around his mouth, knocked him out, done a procedure, successful, and he's okay. Kate's coming at the very end. She ended up explaining to her that Jack kissed her the other day, and you know, Kate looked a little bit sad, but then she was explaining that she believes that he'd done it for himself, not for her, not for them. Basically, he was trying to convince himself that he wasn't in love with somebody else, which he was kind of insinuating that it was Kate. Then we got like a flash forward story of Jack and Kate, and they're actually together, and he's actually with her while she's with Aaron. So last time we seen him, he didn't want to go to the house because Aaron was there, but in this story they was together with Aaron, and he was kind of being a decent dad, to be honest, but you can also see that he was a little bit scared. And he was having visions of his dad as well, and so was Claire. We both know now that they got the same father, which they do not know. She's gone missing in the jungle, you know, on a trek back with Sawyer and Miles. You know, in the middle of the night, she's got up and walked off. Miles actually seen the dad, which is interesting, but she's left a baby, and so he's picked him up in the morning. Now, again, like I said, Jack in the flash forward was also having visions of his dad here in the present, and that's where he started to get himself prescribed this medication from his friend, who then obviously steamrolls ahead. It looks like he's now obviously addicted to it, when we seen it in that episode where he was going crazy because he'd already used it twice. Now, again, very interesting. Him and, like I said, what's it called? Kate was in a relationship in the flash forward, but it looks like obviously they've hit the rocks because she's doing something for Sawyer, but she's being all skeptical and sketchy. And when he's asking a question, she's like, leave it alone. And he's obviously thinking the worst, thinking that she's cheating on him. He's had this before, hasn't he, with Sarah, and now he's thinking it's happening again. And I can't really blame him for the way he's kind of reacting and being pretty much, well, I was saying last episode, it's not really jealous, is it? Because it's got very much justification into it. It's not as if like he's just seen her walk around with a male friend and he's like, who's that? Jealousy? He's more seen as being cryptic in situations and lying to him and not telling him information, and now he's thinking what's going on. So it was interesting. Like I said, we've kind of seen 5 of the Oceanic 6, I believe anyway. Sawyer's been referenced to be still on the island. Jin, he was kind of referenced again, was still on the island, which is really good. So that means that hopefully he's not dead when we do actually find everybody, and I cannot wait to see how the season concludes. Thanks for checking out today's episode. If you do enjoy it, please smash like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode. It's a getting closer, going faster than a roller coaster. Why, is that Lydia?
Where do you think you're going?
Out.
It's Lydia.
He's twice your age, Emily. So what, Mom? Listen to me, Emily.
My style's running her over, man. You know what? I like the start of that. It was just 2 little nostalgic things.
I'm pregnant. What did you say? I'm pregnant. I'm 5. I'm almost 6 months.
That's it, Emily.
Yo, you reckon she's brought to the island? Do you reckon this is what it is? Maybe.
It's a boy, honey. He's okay for now. He's just real early.
Can I hold him?
I'm sorry, sweetheart. He's just too little.
Name him John.
Yo, that's John Locke.
Who builds a cabin in the middle of the jungle anyway? And why are we even going there?
Because hopefully the man who lives in the cabin can tell us what to do about the people who are trying to kill us. How long?
I've been following him.
What do you mean you've been following him?
I'm not even in front.
I have no idea where the cabin is. Hugo's the last one that saw it.
Oh, this is just awesome. What's gonna happen when those freighter guys come back?
I don't know.
I'm glad they're going back here, seeing a bit more Michael and SAYID. So if the helicopter's coming back now, do you reckon Sun's on it? Or do you reckon that he'd already set off prior to him having that conversation?
A pillar of smoke threw him 50 feet in the air. Ripped his goods out.
Tell me exactly how many people are on that island.
And why would I do that?
What the hell do you think you're doing, mate?
You gave me up.
I'm not the one who gave you up.
Do you know who I am?
Martin Key.
Did you give it to him?
Who?
Benjamin Linus, did you give him my name?
Yeah.
Oh, he actually pulled the trigger as well. Did he know it was empty? Or is it because the island won't let him die? You know what? This Keamy guy is a bit annoying, innit? He is. I don't know. I feel like when he talks, his mouth don't really move. I feel like he just talks and he's just in one spot like this every time. Like, literally, he's well annoying. And his voice is so monotone as well. Like, like when he's mad, he still don't raise. You know what I mean? And I don't know. He's a bit stressful, if I'm being honest. But the thing, the big talking point for me is that the doctor died on the island. He washed up on the shore and he was dead. That was prior to the attack with the black mist and the return to the boat where the doctor's alive. I ain't got a clue what's going on there. I do understand there's some sort of time, sort of delay. Like, they've referenced it a few times, and what they were saying is, mate, from leaving here and going to that freighter, you believe it's been a day, but it's been like a minute or something. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not been that long. But what's going on with the fact that, you know, they've actually been attacked on the island and made it back, but the doctor had been found dead prior to the attack on them that happened, and he made it back and the doctor's there, which kind of goes to the Morse code when he went through. And he was like, what are you talking about? Doctor's all right. They actually said that, didn't they? But on the island, they know he's not. You look like the one that rescued them. We brought them to the Dharma Project.
Building a place. A little getaway for me and the missus. Sometimes you need a break from the DI, you know? I'm not making any sense, am I? That's probably because I've been dead for 12 years.
No, if his nose is bleeding. The tree's back up.
You gotta find me, John. And when you do, you'll find him.
Because we've been waiting for him for a long time. Why didn't you speak to him and lock us in the hut?
Godspeed, John.
Huh? What? Time to get up. We're gonna get going.
I thought we didn't know where we were going, dude.
We do now.
Hi, Emily. Mrs. Locke. It's good to see you. He's had infections, pneumonia, you name it. And every time he knocked them out. The girls say he's a miracle baby. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't.
I feel like she's been pressured big time off her mum. It's the way, like, she's just dead moody.
So who do I talk to about adoption?
Yeah, well, I feel like that's what she wanted.
Mrs. Locke.
Oh.
Wow, he's there again. Mate, does this guy not age? He literally does not fucking age, mate. I've said this once already, and I'll say it again. That guy was there. The first time I noticed it was with Ben, yeah? Ben come out on the island, you know, the Dharma Project, when he was a kid. He was like 10. Now, Richard is alive with Ben, part of his project, looking exactly the same. I literally said, what's going on there? Ben's in like his 40s, 50s or whatever. He's the same. Now we're going way back as well to Locke. I'm not too sure when Locke was, how old Locke is compared to Ben. Maybe roughly the same age or not, but Ben was shown when he was 10. You know, this is even before that. So, I don't know. It still fits. Does this guy age? And, you know, imagine if he was Jacob. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? That would be a good little twist, but I doubt it. But again, why is he not aging? That is a big question. Also, I've got to say, yeah, Boone was my favourite character in the Vampire Diaries. We've had somebody on here who's been literally my favourite character in one of the shows that we've watched, which lasted over 171 episodes. Boom, Lydia, here again. I know she's only making a cameo, but she was either top 2 or top 1. I don't know if I give it Styles or her. Styles wasn't in the last season, so I might have swayed it to her because she was in it for the whole entirety thing. But again, 100 episodes of Teen Wolf and a movie that's been posted on the channel. Lydia was bang up there at the top as well, so it's great to see 2 characters that I love, me in different shows back here.
You're here because you can see the cabin, and that makes you special. We're not going to the cabin. We're going to make a pit stop first.
Maybe to the location.
Where? You ever wonder what happened to the Dharma Initiative, Hugo? You want to know where we're going? We're going to see them.
Innit? Big pit of dead people that Locke crawled out of.
What happened, John?
Then happened.
He did.
This nice gentleman wants to talk to you, John. So I want you on your best behavior. Understand? I run a school for kids who are extremely special. Mind if I show you a couple of really neat things? I want you to look at these things and think about them. Now, tell me, John, which of these things belong to you? Which of these things belong to you already? You sure the knife belongs to you, John? You sure about that? Oh, it doesn't.
Fuming him, look at him. Absolutely livid.
I'm afraid John isn't quite ready for our school. Sorry I've wasted your time.
Fuming, Richard, wasn't he? I mean, he was well hopeful.
This is where you shot Locke and left him for dead, huh?
Yes, Hugo, I was standing right where you are now when I pulled the trigger.
Well, if the others didn't wipe out the Dharma Initiative...
They did wipe them out, but it wasn't my decision.
Whose was it?
Their leaders.
Blueprints for a house. Well, that's just usually a blueprint to the building, not the location.
The crew's asking a lot of questions about what happened to you guys over there.
You tell the crew that I'm dealing with it.
The crew, they've been exhibiting some very strange behavior. Regina threw herself overboard for God. I would be derelict in my duty if I didn't point out that this may be exactly what's happening to you.
I appreciate your concern.
The reason there are 2 keys is we're only supposed to open the safe together.
You're here, aren't you?
What does it say?
It says where Linus is going. Only one place that he can go.
I agreed to ferry you here for an extraction mission.
Fix my gun.
You know what I mean, right? Every single person that seems to have come on this boat, whether it's the captain, whether it's the crew, right? They've all had their own false perception of what's actually happening. You know what I mean? He's come for an extraction mission. The scientists seem to have come for scientific mission, and these guys, obviously the soldiers or whatever, have come to just absolutely cause havoc and going rogue and pretty much going to try and kill everyone on the island. So I was trying to say last episode, in terms of just because you brought them here and you was part of the initial arrival doesn't mean that you're involved in the deaths of everybody and you agree with it as well. You know what I mean? So this guy's going rogue and tries to kill everybody. That's not your fault. And I mean, unless Whitmore's ordered him to do that, I wouldn't say it was Whitmore's fault either. You know what I mean? If he's acting on emotion and everything that's just happening, that's their fault and his fault. And it's interesting to see how obviously, like, they've all come with their actual intention. You know, the Captain Frank come because he was interested to see if he could find survivors. You know, the scientists come because they was doing their thing as well. You know, maybe they wanted to find it, maybe they wanted to see more of the island. Captain's come because he wanted to do an extraction. This guy's come, he wanted to do an extraction, but I also believe that in his head, Whitmore would have told him, leave nobody. You know what I mean? If you find anybody, kill him. You know what I mean? I feel like he was already told that prior to arriving.
What do you think happened to him? I don't know.
Is that the message off Daniel?
There's a pantry below our galley with enough room for 2 men. I've left you a supply of food and water. You need to go there.
Give us your Zodiac craft, so we can start ferrying people back here from the beach.
Meet me behind the container in 10 minutes.
The cabin's here. We came from over there. If you head that way, all you have to do is take it north until you reach our beach.
Oh, I get it. Now you got your magic map. You don't need me anymore.
I'm offering you a chance to leave.
I think I'll stick with you guys.
He's alright early, innit? He is pretty sound. Why is Locke not putting his bag up?
I actually think staying was his idea.
I'm not you.
His is always trying to manipulate them, making people feel like they have to stay. Maybe Locke was being truly intentional and like letting him go.
Jarv, you okay?
I'm fine.
I know you're probably upset right now, but I do have some exciting news for you. I spoke with a Dr. Alpert. He's very interested in finding young, bright minds to enter in these new fields of science.
Don't you understand that things like science camp are the reason why I get stuffed in the locker?
Why didn't you tell me that you were
See?
a survivor of 815?
Frank seems genuine.
Because you wouldn't have believed me.
I tell you that I'm one of the only people in the world that think that plane on the bottom of the ocean is a hoax, and you didn't think I'd believe you?
Kimi.
You let me worry about Kimi, all right?
You can't fly him back. He's gonna kill everyone on that island.
Maybe they're the ones that killed the doctor.
Hey, boss. Just getting him down to the engine room.
I'm not going, brother.
I can't go with you. I've been on that island for 3 years. I'm never setting foot in it again.
I'll be back with the first group as soon as I can.
Maybe Desmond was one of the 6 then that survived. We didn't really see.
You sure it's gonna be there, John?
It hasn't moved because I was told that this is where it would be.
John always believes that it's about destiny though and fate.
Cabin.
Okay. Good job, man. Good job.
It's the guy that visited Hurley.
Excuse me?
I'm just saying, don't give up.
There's a 98% chance I'll never get any feeling back in my leg. So I don't know why I'm even trying to drag my...
I did read your file. You survived falling 8 stories out of a building. That's a miracle, Mr. Locke.
I don't believe in miracles.
You know what you need, Mr. Locke? You need to go on a walkabout. You go out into the Australian outback with nothing more than a knife and your wits.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm a cripple.
I went on my walkabout convinced I was one thing. Found out what I was made of, who I was.
So he's the one that planted the seed for him to go to Australia. And this is prior to the mission of, obviously, Naomi and going to visit Hurley.
You listen to what I'm saying. When you and me run into each other again, you'll owe me one.
You want to hear something weird? You know that Morse code message that I got from the beach? It said that the doctor washed up on the shore with his throat slit.
Mr. Kimi, I was hired to fly scientists.
Get your ass in the cockpit and fire up the chopper, Frank.
Right, so he's the one that killed the doctor, but they've just got a message prior to him dying.
Huh? Now stand down, Martin, or I will fire.
I think you want to do that, Captain.
The bottom.
What's that on his arm?
I just let you kill everyone on the boat. It's less people that's on the island. That's interesting, but what I can't really fully get my head around is how is it that they got the Morse code sign from Daniel saying that the doctor washed up on shore dead? The doctor was confirmed that he obviously wasn't dead yet, and then this guy's just killed the doctor and threw him overboard. You know what I mean? So like, it's like the doctor was killed in the future, and when he went back to the island, it happened in the past. I can't really explain that in any other way in terms of, you know what I mean? On the island he's dead, but they're receiving a message while he's alive, and then they get the message while he's alive and kill him, and then they receive him before they've sent their message. I understand that if you don't follow the trajectory, something changes, but man, like for me to understand it personally, me as a person, I need it proper dumbed down me, as if you was telling Aaron. Honestly, I really do. Yo, mate, it'd be good if they land and then they shoot a couple of people. A couple of randoms, not people that we like. A thumper's gonna get shot in it, a big RPG or something. Oh, do you reckon it's Frank who's through it and it's showing them where they're going?
I think they want us to follow him.
Do this.
I'm not going in there with you. My time is over, John. It's yours now.
I'm cool with you going in alone, too.
Are you Jacob?
No, I can speak on his behalf.
How's that? It's Jack's dad, but I don't get how.
I'm Christian.
You know why I'm here?
Yeah, sure. Do you?
Because I was chosen to be.
Blair. What's going on, mate?
Don't worry, I'm fine.
It's best that you don't tell anyone that you saw her.
Why?
We
Why
don't,
is
we
she
don't have
even-
time for this. Why don't you ask the one question that does matter?
How do I save the island?
That's interesting how Claire's there. It actually really is.
Did he tell you what we're supposed to do?
He wants us to move the island.
How does that make any sense? I mean, I suppose if you can somehow move the island, that you can you change the coordinates so that Whitmore, when he actually does come himself, he's not going to find it. Do you know what I mean? If the coordinates are, I don't even know coordinates, X2, Y4, you know what I mean? Like, if you've moved it, then they're never going to find that when they put that in that location. Now, how's Jack's dad alive? That's an interesting one. I don't know how he's seen him. I'm liking it, though. You know, Claire seems to be content and happy. She's not really concerned about the baby. She must know that he's safe. You know, I don't really know with that one. Is she technically in there? I'm guessing she is. I don't know how they found it, you know. I thought you only have to be chosen to be able to see it. We still don't even know who Jacob is. I'm kind of going for Jacob's the guy that spoke to Locke in the hospital. Another guy that was pushing him in the wheelchair. The guy that was... I don't know, man. I was going to say the guy that went to see Hurley, because thinking about it, when he went to see Hurley, he was asking, are they still there? Are they still on the island? Now, Hurley... Oh, sorry, him. If he was Jacob, he would know that because he's on the island himself and he wouldn't have been rescued, would he? You know what I mean? So that it's probably not him, but he said to Locke, you know what I mean? He was one that planted the seed. You need to go on a finding trip. You need to go in the outback. You need to go discover yourself. You think you're a cripple, but you're not. You know what I mean? I've been on one of these and I know who I am now. And he said, once you do that next time with me, you know what I mean? You're going to owe me one. What does that mean? Literally, what does that mean? Today, you know, Sayid's got on a boat. He's going to the island. He's going to warn them. But we've also seen that, obviously, what's the guy called, Kamimi or something? He's just got mad, hasn't he? He's just killed a couple of people on board, shot the captain as well. I don't know who's there driving the ship. Now, Desmond could probably drive it. I don't know if he's sailed his Elizabeth boat, hasn't he, like, around the world. I know it's not as big as that, but he's still a sailor, be able to probably control it. That was lucky, again, with the doctor thing. I'm not too sure that I'm clever enough to follow something like that. I do kind of get what's going on, you know what I mean? I do understand it a little bit, but like the whole complexity and the concept of it, the fact that, you know, he's died on the island prior to them dead on the ship and then receiving a note. Basically, you think about it, they found him dead. Then they sent a message to the boat saying, how's he died? They've said, he's not died, he's here. Then he's died on the boat and gone back to the island, which him returning to the island would have been prior to him receiving the first message. So I just, like, in my head, I can't really pick and put that together very convincingly for myself to understand. But I can understand what's happening. Does that make sense? I can see it, I get it, but fully getting it, you know what I mean? I'm not that amazing at it right now. But it's been a decent episode. They drove past Frank through that thing. He's basically insinuating, come follow us. They know that they're going to the hut. Basically, the guy's gone in the safe. He's got those plans, hasn't he? He is going to try and kill everybody on the island. Sayid's obviously returning as well. He can warn them. It's going to be interesting. What's this now? 10? 11? 10? I don't know. Right near the end anyway. Literally right near the end. So I'm expecting chaos to erupt because the final 2 episodes usually of all the seasons so far have been really good. And I'm hoping that it doesn't change in this one. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hope the guys enjoyed it. If you're not yet voted for your most likely to dislike characters of the season, please do. It takes 30 seconds and your results of mine will be shown in the final episode this season. Cannot wait to see who you guys choose. And obviously today's episode, some of the actions of some of the characters may have resulted into your final choice. You may have been, you know, like swinging on the edge, maybe pick this person, that person, but now it's fully settled after some decisions today. Very, very interesting stuff. Thanks so much in advance. Now, I'm fascinated with the Jack's dad storyline, if I'm being honest. You know, we've seen him 2 episodes in a row now, and it seems like he actually is on the island, or Locke can actually speak to him anyway, and Claire can actually see him. It wasn't like a dream. It's not as if like she's just been sleeping like Locke, you know, in a couple of his visions, you know, when he went to speak to that Dharma guy and find a location of his body basically in the pit. That was a sleeping vision, where it seems like Claire's had a real vision, and she's actually left, and she's found him, gone to the hut, sat down. She can still see him in there, and she's accepted, and she's okay with being there. She's not scared, and she's on her own as well. You know, it's fascinating to see, and I want to see more of it. Now, obviously, it looks like they're going to the location of the hut to maybe get Jacob, or to kill everybody, or maybe they're going to the Tempest to actually set the gas off. I don't really know. They did get some blueprints out of the safe when he was on the ship. Like I said, they've killed the captain. They've got the Frank to fly them there, who's actually dashed out a sat phone so that they can actually chase them as well. Maybe it's because he wants them to stop it. Do you know what I mean? He wants people on the island to get to the location. Maybe they've got, you know, mass amount of guns themselves, and they can actually prevent the attack that's about to happen. Sayid as well is also coming back. And he can obviously inform them, and he can man up, squad up and that, and get a little team together. So that was really interesting as well. There's still quite a lot of things that we still need to kind of go through. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we think about it, you know, the Kate and Jack storyline, we need to see more of that. And obviously, like, I want to see who's died as well at the start of the season when Jack went to visit the person in the church and nobody turned up. I also want to see what's happened with Jin. Pretty much, is he dead, is he not? I'm assuming that he's alive now. Well, I'm hoping that is alive. The Oceanic 6 storyline, I really want that to be concluding as well. Obviously, moving into the next season. I like storylines to be, you know, boxed off and ticked and move on. So that's really good as well. Does Penny manage to reunite with Desmond? I would like that one. Is he staying on the freighter? Who knows? I know he said that he's not going back to the island, but does he make it back to mainland? Because again, that was very, very interesting. And there's a couple of other things as well that we need to go through throughout the throughout the rest of the season. It was in my head, but I've gone blank right now. But there is some of the stories that do need to be kind of concluded that we started. Basically, like Faraday, you know, he's lost his memory, and remember he only got 3 cards out. He got 2 out of the 3 cards. I'm assuming that none of them make it back to the island. You know what I mean? I'm assuming none of them make it back to mainland. Sorry, everyone that's come here, because they was part of the team. You know, again, with the storyline with Ben and obviously Whitmore, is that going to be concluded this season, or we're going into the next one? Who's on the list of names that SAYID's doing in the present? You know what I mean? We did see him kill the woman, but who was it that he was trying to get to? If it was Whitmore, then it doesn't really make sense, because Ben could have killed him anytime he wants because he broke into his house. You know what I mean? It's quite a bit going on, to be honest, for how long we got left of the season, which I've said, again, is a bit of a bonus, if I'm being honest, because it keeps all the episodes engaging and exciting, and hopefully it's full of chaotic and madness going into it. Really enjoyed today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. If you did, please smash like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.